As you're watching, if you can do the process yourself and actually may get some direct experience for yourself as I guide John through the process. So, John, thank you. So,
Thank
you
you.
already know, you have a hint about that core belief, and you even said it. You said, I'm not good enough. So, I'd like you to close your eyes and say out loud, I'm not good enough, and just tell me what that feels like in your body.
I'm not good enough. Well, it's automatically heavy, tension in the solar plexus, and I can feel myself withdrawing, slinking back,
Good.
dark.
Okay, good. And what else does your mind say? Would you say it again? I'm not good enough. And listen to your mind. And what does your mind say in response to that?
The first thing that came up before you even finished talking was I shouldn't even bother.
Ah,
And that's really part of the root for sure.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Right. So I don't try out to go and connect with people like real time. Right. I'm not putting myself out in the world. Well, of course, I don't have clients.
Yeah. So now say, I'm not good enough and I shouldn't even bother. And tell me what that feels like. And if any
I'm
other thoughts come up.
I'm not good enough and I shouldn't even bother. About the same and get heavier in the head, and there's more of a really deflated defeatist feeling like,
Mm-hmm,
okay, then I'll just stay at home and watch TV.
mm-hmm. Thank you. Keeping your eyes closed, I'd like you to answer this question. If you did bother, if you did put yourself out there, what would be the bad thing that would happen?
People would ridicule me and confirm that I'm, wow, this is heavy, a worthless piece of shit.
There we go. That's the core. Thank you. Thank you for being so vulnerable and open. Yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to ask you to say that phrase again. I'm a worthless piece of shit, and feel it in your body.
Do I have to?
Okay. Yeah.
No, I
Well,
get it.
if you want to heal it,
Oh, it's good. I'm
if you
here.
don't feel it, you can't heal it. So yeah,
Exactly.
that's the policy.
I'm a worthless piece of shit.
And everyone that's listening can try that on and feel what that feels like. Even if it's not true for you, you can feel what it feels like for John.
And now the mental message again, experiencing the thought in my head of I don't even deserve to live then.
Wow.
Like, what's the point?
Yeah.
And who wants a worthless piece of shit around? I
Exactly.
don't.
Yeah. And if you put yourself out in the world and you pretend to be a great coach or a great person and they found out, what would happen?
Feels like annihilation.
Yeah. So, folks, we're at the core here. You can notice that this core feeling is not the words, it's the experience of that the word produces. It's the feeling that the words come out of. So, John, thank you for just stay with that for another minute. I'm now going to ask you to spiral back in time, remembering this feeling. And we call it spiraling back in time. It's like a stone skipping across water, touching on certain times when you felt this feeling and had these thoughts, and go back and back and back in time to earlier and earlier times when you felt this way and you had this conclusion, and see if you can go all the way back to the very first time you experienced this. Just go back as early as you can to the earliest experience you can remember feeling this way. And tell me when you arrived there.
The earliest, clearest memory I have is 6 years old, first grade, but I know there were probably prior ones.
Okay. And what's happening in that scene that you're experiencing in first grade?
Uh, I was identified as special in early verbal and written expression, and was encouraged to keep a diary. And I believe there was a sharing experience around that got ridiculed by classmates. So the teacher was all, 100% behind me.
So
And
you, so she
but the
asked you to
ridicule
stand
just
up and share
disappeared.
something. She asked you to stand up and share something
That's my best memory of it.
from your diary.
And not from the diary, just, I'm trying to bridge where, hey, you're special. You have creative expression skills, right? Do this thing. Yay, great. Okay, now share it with the class. Boo, right?
Okay, good.
Ugh, well, I'm
So I
not
want,
great then.
yeah, all right. So
Being
just
great is dangerous.
right. All right. So I'd like you to freeze frame that moment. Just whatever you're remembering right now, just put it on pause. Tell me when you've got that on pause. Okay, good. Now I'd like you to slowly, frame by frame, move backwards through the memory to before the kids booed,
Hmm.
to before when the teacher asks you to stand up and say something. And tell me, can you feel it?
I felt powerful. I felt special in a healthy way, special,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Unique,
Yeah. Good. So
energized, so like solar radiance.
beautiful. Pause it right there. Pause it right there and hang out in that feeling. Solar radiance,
So
special, seen,
if I
acknowledged.
may interrupt, my head just said, I missed you.
Ah, beautiful. Just acknowledge it. Say thank you. I'm here. Going through a process. Take a seat. I'll get back to you later. Yeah. And just feel that solar radiance. You're being acknowledged as special and beautiful and wonderful. This is who you really are. You're being seen for who you are. There's nothing more beautiful than that. Bathe in that radiance. Let it wash over you and through you. And when you're ready, I'd like you to move the film forward moment by moment. You're feeling this way, you stand up feeling this way, you begin to speak, and what do you say?
I just had the memory that it might have been a poem. So I would have been reciting the poem.
Good. Can you remember anything about the poem?
Maybe. My first thought was no, but maybe. Um, Best I got in the moment, it was joyful and maybe a little silly.
Yeah. Just feel how good it felt to share something that you wrote. The teacher looking at you, smiling, and then move the film forward until you hear the first boo or snicker or comment. And then freeze frame it there. What was said or what sound was made that made you suddenly realize the other kids weren't seeing you as a shining, radiant being?
The best I have is there was some, laughter and the kind of, well, that was dumb. What was so special about that?
It's fine.
And it wasn't everybody, but it was enough.
Yeah. Yeah. And now feel the feeling that creeps in as you hear those comments.
My solar plexus is tightening up hard
Yeah.
and pulling in.
Yeah. Keep going, just one moment at a time. Just go through the whole process and feel it fully. Very slowly, moment by moment. Feel the whole experience.
Tension in my head, my brain goes black. If that makes sense. It doesn't have to make sense. My brain went black.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm shocked. The kind of a freeze shock, like suddenly there's threat, and I'm also fucking angry. Like I got set up.
Betrayed.
So now I'm angry at the teacher.
Mhm. Feel that fully. You're experiencing a lot of things at the same time. See if you can just go really slow and feel each one of them. You're doing great.
I'm completely confused because the response is completely contrary to the praise I got and the encouragement and the feelings I had
Yeah.
and the experience of writing and being acknowledged.
Yeah.
So there's contrast I can't make sense of. So it's
Yep.
jarring, confusing. I just want to run.
Yeah. By the way, for all of you listening and watching, these are all the signs of trauma: confusion, pain, insult to the body, insult to the mind. So thank you, John. Keep going. Feel all of those feelings and allow them to be there. Give your body time to feel them all. It's okay to let it go and cry and whatever's happening, just experience it fully. Experience how painful it was to be in that moment and to be frozen at the same time.
Yeah, frozen's a good word because I shut it all down.
Yeah,
I refused feeling because I was so shocked and confused.
that's another component of trauma as it gets pushed down. So see if you can. So just put that on hold for a moment. I'm going to bring in another element. I'd like you to come back to your adult self right now. And John, you're a coach. You're sensitive. You're aware. If you walked into the classroom at that moment and saw that young boy going through that, what's your instinct to do?
Run over to him, pick him up, hold him, reassure him, point out there's other kids who liked it. Let him know not everybody has to like what he did. And remind him to remember to feel how good he felt about it.
Beautiful. Okay, so
maybe even take him out if that's appropriate.
Like taking him out is a really good idea. I'll give you some instructions, but you're right on. You're perfectly capable of doing this. So I'd like you, the adult John, to walk into that scene. And first walk in when he's actually giving the poem, when he's sharing himself, and just beam appreciation at him.
Wow.
And now hear the first snicker or the first oh brother or whatever it was coming from the other kids, and watch young John as he starts freezing up from that shame that's coming in. And now walk right up to him and pick him up and look him in the eye and say, John, you're doing great. This is a beautiful poem and you're a beautiful person. And those other kids don't understand. They're too young. They're confused. They don't know what to do, so they giggle and they make comments. But it's because they don't know who you are. And they kind of wish they were you getting all this attention.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to take you out of here. We're going to go for a walk. And so take him out of the classroom, find a beautiful place in nature to walk with him, and tell me where you are.
Actually, just in the playground behind school. And
Great.
It's sunny out, and we sit down and I encourage him to write another poem.
Good, beautiful. Put your arm around him. You're going to be talking to him a little bit, encouraging him to write another poem is great. But I want you to say a few more things to him, okay? Okay. So look him in the eye and say, you are a magnificent being. You are unique. There's nobody like you. There will never be anybody like you in the future. And you have a great gift. And you're in a classroom with a bunch of children. many of whom don't know who they are. They don't have that same feeling of radiance that you do. And so they're jealous and they can get mean. And they're just being mean. They're just being kids. But it has nothing to do with you. You have a great gift to give to other people, and there will be some people that love you, and some people that don't care about you, and some people that dislike you or even hate you. And that's okay. That's how brilliant people experience the world. That's just part of being human. But you know who you are, and I know who you are. And nothing can take that away from you. And no one can take that away from you. And I'm going to be at your side, reminding you throughout the rest of your life so that you never forget that you are that radiant being and that you are brilliant and that you do have a gift, and that gift needs to come out. The world needs your gift. And when you get older, you're going to be able to help lots of people with your gifts. And they're going to appreciate you so much. They're going to want to pay you a lot of money for your gifts. And so just know that I've got your back. If other kids snicker or make comments, just ignore them because they don't know what the hell they're talking about. And now it's a good time to write another poem. Maybe a poem about this experience, feeling so embarrassed and so shamed, and how you remembered who you were because somebody reminds you all the time. How's he feeling?
Loved, calm, centered, radiant.
Good.
And the poem is even when the clouds of confused people show up in the sky of the world, I am still here shining.
Beautiful.
Any of those clouds ready to feel warmth, I'm here. They can't change me. Any gap in the clouds, my radiance reaches earth to help people. I'm always here. I am.
Beautiful. So now I'd like you to sort of take part of you and widen back and float above the scene. And see yourself, your adult self with your child self, and reach down and put a bubble around it, precious bubble, like a snow globe. And then take that bubble and bring it all the way into your heart so that lives inside of you, that he lives inside of you with you at his side, remembering who he is. And tell me when that's complete.
Complete.
Beautiful. And feel your body, feel that scene in your heart, feel that little John radiating and you radiating. And before you open your eyes, I'd just like you to imagine reaching out to some other people and talking about what you can do for them. And marketing yourself, doing the things that you know people do to get clients. How does that feel to imagine that?
It feels completely natural, completely free of selling in the kind of grabby way of selling.
Mm-hmm.
I immediately got a contrast with how my head wants to sell.
Yeah.
Wants to try to convince and explain, and in the background is of course fear, afraid of rejection or anything other than yes, and
That's
even is
right.
afraid of yes.
Yep, that was the old pattern. And
And,
can you see your new
from
pattern?
here- From here, it's well, in its simplicity, it's sharing this, being in this solar warmth and simply speaking from and as that.
Beautiful.
And the words, kind of like you were saying earlier, the words matter less than the felt sensation, right?
Yes. Mm. Thank you, John. You're welcome to open your eyes. And ready?
Whoa.
Welcome to the new you.
Mm.
You are welcome here. Yeah. And we can see you. We can see your radiance. And we appreciate it. Except for that guy in the back who's catcalling, but like, forget him. How do you feel right now?
Peaceful, relieved, a little tired.
Good.
The brain is skeptical. Let's put that out.
Yeah, that's all right. Look, this experience and this new pattern will continue to anchor itself more and more deeply over the next 48 hours or so. So just keep bringing the image back again for about 48 hours. It'll settle. It'll take, and your conscious mind will start seeing evidence to prove it. You don't have to. You don't have to go
There
find.
is physical activity in my heart space and solar plexus that I'm not doing.
Good. Take really good care of yourself. It's good to take a hot bath or take a walk in nature to let it integrate fully. Thank you for being a great demo.